What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in the town of Springdale with our Let's Play Season 4 episode number 14. So hopefully everybody is having a fantastic Monday. And we just want to kind of keep grinding it out here. We've got some problems happening here or there, so we can look to start to address some of those. The occasional abandoned building. Some of it's industry related for the most part. Not enough buyers for products, so maybe we need more commercial zones or easier ways to export goods. We could start looking at a train network. I think would be kind of nice. I want to revamp this highway a bit. I did raise this segment of the highway, so if we wanted to build roads underneath and continue to use some of this space off to the side of the map, we could do that. It's a little lumpy over here. I still got to work on that and smooth it out. And I think I might bring the highway up over this hill. We might flatten this out a little bit for whatever ultimately we decide here, the zoo or the amusement park. Probably won't start to obviously commit to this until Park Life comes out. But I think either way, regardless of what goes here, this is going to get flattened out a little bit. And as a result, we might revamp the highway back through here. So we have a fair bit of room here on the side of the map. We might end up bringing this water up a bit. I think I ran that parallel the edge of the map. So it looks like that should be able to continue on and meet our water needs as the city continues to grow. But there's a ton of different projects we can do. One that I do want to start to get on is over here. And I thought this might be a fun way to kind of start building out today, is to do a little low density over here. So let's break out our freeform tool. And I want to start with some loose neighborhoods over here. Curvy streets, nothing too grid-like. And then start to fold it into this structure over here. So we've got kind of this wedge. I carried this road underneath as a tunnel. Comes under here, comes out over this way. So I think really loose up till around this area. And then we kind of start to fold it into a grid up this way. So let's just kind of have some fun with it and start doing that. So what I want to do here is kind of follow the shoreline, but then I want to start to curve up away from the shore and start to bring it up over that way. What we should do though, before I do that, is landscaping tool. We're going to lower the terrain a bit, and I want to carve a valley through here. This is something that I want to try and get better at. I tend to run roads up over that. You know, I just bring it up over the mountain, or maybe just cut it through and make a tunnel. When in reality, more often than not, you're going to, see kind of valleys carved out here. So let's grab this height and we'll actually level it. We'll level the terrain based on this height. We'll go full strength and size, and let's see what soil we can pick up to carve through here. Now this is going to be very wide at first, but we can run a road kind of right up the middle and then smooth it out after the fact. Let's bring it this way a little bit, and that's not too bad right there. That will work. Now we can kind of carry our road through here. Right now it is a 6-lane road. 2-way traffic. I think we can continue that. We don't need a highway over here. I don't think we're going to have so much that we need to bring a highway on this side of the map. Also, it's going to be very tough to hook in over here because of the edge of the map. And I don't want to have an exit kind of too close over there. So I think carrying this around as a 6-lane road should be fine. Let's see. Maybe we even back it down. We can always upgrade the roads after the fact. Let's curve this in up into that valley. We'll go with the 2-lane roads for now. We should still be on freeform. We are. And let's zoom way out to do this so that we kind of hook it in. Do that. I want to kind of come right up the middle of this valley so that we can smooth it out after the fact. So now we get kind of this straight shot through here. Let's start zoning off over here. Not zoning, but kind of building more of our structure. And then we can figure out where we want to convert that from, say, a 6-lane road to down to a 2-lane road. Let's see, let's delete this segment. Take it back. Because I kind of want to follow the beach here, and we'll kind of have this as the edge of our town. We'll thin out the zoning over here. We'll go to about the halfway point. Kind of create our main strip through here. Maybe even this could connect up down here. So let's curve this, kind of freeform this via the terrain. Kind of come in this way. Something like that. Could be kind of nice. And then we can build some neighborhoods up through here. Neighborhoods up this way. And then really start, we'll kind of get into our grid up here. And then loosen things as it gets closer to the shoreline. Before we do any kind of zoning though, we'll break out our smooth tool. And let's see if we can soften up that ridge a bit. Raise the shoreline a little over here. We've got a ton of soil, so give me a minute and we'll time-lapse this because you kind of have to finesse it and drag it out a bit. Alright, so we don't want this to be too tight over here. What we can do is kind of follow the same curves. We'll try and maximize our zoning. We don't want it to be too sharp of a grid. Or too kind of tight in there. We do want it to feel a little looser over on this side of the map. In fact, maybe we want it to feel really loose over here by the shore. Then again, it would probably get zoned up in real life. So we'll come out to somewhere like around here. Maybe we could plateau a little bit of this. But let's get some basic roads in there, and then we can figure out how we want to use some of that excess soil that we have. We're definitely going to want to smooth out these roads a little bit, especially with lumps like that. Now for that last one, I came up about halfway between the next two nodes. So we'll do the same thing over here. And just kind of blow with it the same way. Some windy roads, a little bit of curve to them. Still keeping with the principles of the grid, kind of trying to minimize some of the intersections. We'll just kind of fill this in. We don't really have the zoning demand right now to worry too much about this. But I thought it would be fun to have some low density since we converted everything over at one point to high density. It might look nice to have a little, some smaller houses here off to the side of the map. And it certainly suits it over here. You know, a little beachfront community might have been built up at some point before all the massive downtown area was zoned. We can fill in a couple of streets to allow better service coverage and things like that. But I think I'm going to dead end over here. So let's see. Where do we want to kind of stop our curved roads? We'll come in 2 nodes from the tunnel. And then let's kind of paint some lines up this way. Maybe this can connect over here like that, That might make sense. Sort of kind of a barrier around the edge of this. And then we can do a couple little houses on the hill, maybe a road that goes up to the observatory, which I still haven't connected to anything yet. And let's see, let's come to about the halfway point here and kind of get some of these side routes connected just a little bit. Something like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Again, just to kind of provide some routes so that we don't have to drop in too many fire and police stations to cover this. So they don't have to go all the way back to the cross streets to come down here and support over this way. I think that's pretty good. It's all about just having fun with it and what feels right. So, you know, you got to kind of channel your Bob Ross, right? There's no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Terrain's definitely going to be a little wonky over here, but we can deal with that. It's smoothing it out ever so slightly, but you can see if you stay kind of on that spot, it will continue to soften it. So it's just something you kind of have to run the smooth tool over and let it kind of figure out what it wants to do with the soil. So let me smooth this out ever so slowly, and I'll be right back once this is done. And it'll look a little bit smoother. That is until houses build in there, and they'll create some of their own little ridges, but again, we're fine with that. We just wanted to do a different little pocket over here. Bear with me, quick time lapse, we'll be right back. A little bit better now. Still some ridges, but we can live with that. Let's get some of our kind of our cross sections figured out, and then we can fill in the gaps with the roads. So if we wind this kind of up through here, that will work. And then same thing over this way. We kind of want some different routes to kind of cut through these neighborhoods. Maybe we can do something like that. And let's connect to this one. Keep that kind of curve flowing with the hillside. Yeah, I like that. So let's actually see. It'd be kind of nice to have, I think, a green neighborhood. I don't know if we want to do it right on the beachfront property. Maybe, you know, these houses kind of moved in when the town was first starting. I like to kind of imagine how a town gets built up, right? It's one of those things you can do to make things look a little more natural. Obviously, when we're doing a big gridded downtown area, those get planned and developed, you know, over a century. You know, they were defining the grid of Manhattan in the 1800s. And things kind of get built up. But if you look at other towns, you know, smaller towns, generally you'll have a highway, right, that things are built off of. That wasn't there at first. You have these tiny, smaller roads. And then the highway kind of gets built in parallel to that to divert traffic from where the people are living to get them to other areas. And generally you'll have, like, you know, your main street of a town. Let's just say imagine for a second it's this one. You'd have a highway kind of over here running parallel with that, with exits every so often to kind of carry people down into that neighborhood. So it's kind of good to think about things like that sometimes when you're going for realism. I know I'm not building hyper-realistic stuff, and this one was all about the grid, which I know is not the most exciting build, but it was really all about Central Park. But we can have a little fun with it over here on the shore. Kind of imagine how things get built up in a smaller neighborhood over time. So let's keep all these houses kind of regular, but maybe this little pocket over here, this little square, if you will, maybe this is, you know, kind of a green neighborhood that spun up. Later development. So let's do that. We'll do a quick district over here. Actually, let me go with the small tool and just kind of paint along the roads, and then we can fill it in after the fact. If you're having trouble with this on console, one of the easiest things to do is just continuously rotate your camera so that you're kind of just going up in a straight line. It's a lot easier to kind of do micro movements that way. At least it is for me. I don't know. Some people may have an easier time with this. This is one of those things that is a lot easier with a keyboard and mouse. Not only because it's adapted a little bit better, but I spent a lot more time on a keyboard and mouse for my day job, and you know, even as a kid, I was playing games on the family computer. Which, for those of you that know how old I am, know it was probably a pretty slow computer. First one that I really gamed on was an IBM PS2, 25 megahertz. So that ought to give you some idea of the timeline if you're computer savvy. If not, it was a very long time ago. And games were on floppy disks, not the plastic ones, the floppy floppies, 5 1/4. So it was a long time ago. Okay, so now we've got kind of those edges filled in. Now we can grab a bigger brush, and it won't kind of overwrite where we don't want it to, or yes, it will. All right, thanks. Thanks for proving me wrong. Okay, that did it. So this will be our green pocket, if you will. I think that's good. And then we can have all regular houses kind of down through here. We'll have some commercial along the kind of the main drags, little bits of little pockets of it here and there. So let's do that. We will in our commercial pockets first. Low density, kind of along this strip. And this one technically is on this side street, but that's okay. It's a little corner store. It's totally fine. We'll do all these little roads that, or rather these little zones that kind of connect off this main drag. Those will be our little commercial pockets along the main street. Let's come back and think about how we do it up here in what's now known as Beechwood Square, but may change. Do the same thing down this way. This will be our kind of main street cutting through the area. We'll do a commercial square on either side there. Yeah, let's commit to it. We'll do this. We'll do this strip as commercial. That's okay. But we might extend this district just barely across the block here so that we can do organic and local produce along there. And then we'll fill in some side streets and some streets up here for our greenhousing. Let's go back into districts. Let's extend that just ever so slightly. I wish, and you can get mods for this in the PC to show, you can basically toggle on or off the zoning. Because that would be really useful when you're painting districts. If I just wanted to cover, you know, kind of these shops, it'd be nice to know where to cut off that that zoning. So that will work. Let's go ahead and define our specializations. So organic and local produce and self-sufficient. Nope, I was going to be IT cluster. That would have been interesting. Self-sufficient buildings in there. And then we'll do just our regular zoning along the shoreline. Let's see. Oh, no, let's fill in a couple more convenience stores and stuff before I overwrite the rest of it. Again, little corner stores on the other streets are fine as long as they're right there next to that intersection. I think it is okay and adds a little bit of realism, because you might have some of that spilling over onto what is otherwise a residential street. But that's pretty good. We've got pockets kind of everywhere for commercial. Do this as well. And spilling over a little bit's okay. It'll be interesting to see how fast this fills up. I don't think it's going to fill up very quick. But let's zone off the rest of this in. Low density residential. We'll do it the quick way first. Try and cover everything. Zoom back in. And see what we missed. Now for the, I don't want to necessarily say OCD, but I'm a bit myself. But for those of you that like organized pipes and clean pipe networks, you're probably not going to want to watch this next segment coming up, because I don't think I'm going to grid this. I might just kind of cover it based on the need. Let's see. Oh, we've already got a business moving in over here. Yeah, they definitely do not have power. Definitely do not have water. We'll pause it for a minute. We don't want people moving out of our neighborhood already. So we're just going to kind of follow and overlap a little more than we need to. I feel like it's going to be a little quicker. But definitely a little bit sloppier as a result. Just cover kind of what we need to for now, and then we can come back and zone the rest of it off or water the rest of it off later. If the pipes showed all the time, I would totally do a better job at this, but let's see, did I zone? I think I zoned all the way up over here, so let's carry a cross pipe up this way. And then where can we hook it into our grid? Right there is perfect. And while we're up here, let's grab power and bring that down this way. So let's come around the runway. Will it let us get over the highway nice and easy? Good enough. Let's see, where do we need to get to? I probably should have carried it. I'm trying not to cut off that much zoning, so let's go this way. That should be okay. Let's throw in a couple, or at least one fire station. I think we'll throw these kind of on those main side streets and drags. So here, for example. And we want things to feel a lot smaller over here. So our first green building coming in. They are not going to be very happy with their customer base right now, since they are a lone solitary grocery store. I don't know who's going to venture all the way over there to do some organic shopping. I mean, I guess the police. They forgot their lunch. Maybe they'll stop in. So we've got a bit of industry demand right now, which we could meet with some more office. Because we've got a decent industry pocket over here. You know, we've got this pocket right now. We're not trying to be an industry heavy town. This is more of a major metropolitan downtown area. We could, I guess, spin some up over here by the airport at some point. Maybe we'll do another pocket over here. But for right now, I think we'll do some more. Let's see. I think we'll do some more office space. our unemployment was horrendous. And not that 24% is great. We were down to 4 at one point, but we were up to 36 at one point. So let's give the people some places to work. Education is certainly not a problem in the town, so office space should be relatively sufficient. One of the things I've got to do also is I haven't done a metro route. I just got a couple loops, I think, up in the north part of the city. I did some loops because they're quick and easy, not because they're what's staying. But we haven't carried any of that service over across the river yet. We haven't built the airport in yet. So this is definitely going to be a major project that I want to get into probably first week of April. I don't think we're going to do it in Wednesday's episode. I just want to kind of keep building and expanding and growing the city a little bit more. We don't have horrendous traffic problems. Let's take a look at that actually really quick. Right here. 75%. You know, I mean, I think there's traffic where you expect to see it along some of these cross streets. And the Central Park area is really busy, right? It's a little slow on that strip. But we've got, you know, most of our 100,000 people on that side of the river. And there is a little bit of metro coverage over there, but it's not necessarily bringing people where they need to go. It's kind of getting them around a residential area right now to get them to maybe a bus stop, which kind of runs a little bit further north to south. But it's not an ideal setup. We want to kind of come across town and you know, take people from the office to here to maybe a central park where we'll have kind of a center hub of metro, and then that can branch off up this way and down that way. I'm thinking at least 4 different lines that kind of snake around the city to start, and then branching off from there. We definitely got to do that. Let's just double check. Zoning wise, I mean, we added that block. We're okay. I don't want to oversaturate office over here. I would kind of like to mix it up. We're gonna do a little bit of a commercial spot, you know, kind of the strip, if you will, here near the airport. So we'll do tourism or leisure, probably a leisure strip, because those get real noisy. We'll want to find a couple more pockets for residential. I think we already blocked one off over here by the waterfront. Come to think of it, who wouldn't want some nice waterfront view apartments, especially now that it is not a river of sewage flowing by. Much better view than it was initially when we were first building up the map. So we've got tons and tons of zoning for people to move into. We don't have a commercial pocket, and this might be the project for next episode, is kind of building this into a strip. We might make it kind of, I think it'd be kind of fun to have like a back alley almost. So we'll have like all commercial buildings along this strip, tourism and leisure focus. Maybe we can mix and match a little bit. And then maybe having like, again, a back alley footpath where people can cut in and out of the street, and we'll turn that kind of into a park. We'll have benches and little park props and things like that when park life hits. So that might be kind of a cool way to fill in this space, kind of have some parks kind of by the highway. I don't know, we'll see in the next episode if we can carve out some space for that. I think the strip would be a good next build, and that would fill out kind of this corner of the map. Then we can start to again kind of figure out how do we take this from a grid into an eventually a little bit of a looser feel. We kind of cut the grid off there and start to get into the smaller roads, and we do need to hook this up to the highway. I think one more highway exit would be nice. It's gonna be a little tough to get it in there, but we'll figure that out, because right now people have to go all the way down into the town to cut back over to come up to the highway, or go all the way down here and back in to get to the highway. So maybe we could even build a bridge here to carry that across, because right now these people are a little cut off from the highway over in this corner. There's a lot of plans. There's a lot of things we can do, but I think that's a pretty good spot for now. This hopefully will start to fill out. I would like to get this a little bit more populated by the time park life does hit, so that when we kind of do that flyby, it doesn't feel so empty back there in the background. But it's not too bad. I'm enjoying the build so far. Again, very gritty. Sorry if it's not your thing, but really, I think just kind of getting to walk around the park when it's all said and done is going to be kind of fun. We'll have a nice little Central Park object that, you know, as nice as Central Park is, when you're on your lunch break from your construction job, it's, you know, it's not yours. It's not custom. And you can't walk down here, which is super disappointing. But we'll kind of make our own park that has this look and feel, and we'll set up some little cafe stands and prop things up. And one thing that I wish you could do on the PC is, without a mod at least, is kind of walk around like this. They don't have this capability on the PC, so you can do it with mods. They seem pretty janky, the ones that I've checked out so far. If anyone knows a good one, let me know in the comments down below. But I think it'll be really fun once it's all built out. We have our own custom park we can walk around and you know, kind of experience the little slice of nature in the middle of this major metropolitan area. And as you can see, the buildings all around are pretty imposing, as is that hill. But we'll have fun building it up in the meantime. When Park Life eventually hits, we will we'll drop in our own custom park. We'll move this Central Park object somewhere else on the map. We'll rename it, since it wouldn't technically be Central Park. This is going to be Central Park. You can't have the name Park. Too bad. Actually, can you rename uniques? That is an interesting thing. Okay, you can. Okay, good. Maybe we'll call it like Off Center Park, and we'll throw it over here somewhere. We'll find a spot for it in the middle of our new green neighborhood. Ooh, first greenhouse. Thank you. Healthy Weeds, you have your first customer. There's no way these buildings are going to stay in business. It's supported off of 2 people. We'll see. I wonder where those people commute to work. It's gonna be a fun drive into the city. So we'll continue to build and tune and tweak. Ignore the traffic problems for now. Honestly, it is something that I need to work on. But I think maybe I'll add a couple connection routes in the meantime, just to at least do like kind of a belt through the middle of here and get that connected into the other loops, to hopefully move some more people around, get them off the roads. Bikes were doing a good job for us for a while, and you can see it's still pretty heavy. Buses, got a couple bus routes that are being used, which is nice, but we'd like to get some more people using some of the transit options. So maybe we'll do a quick temporary line again through here to start, and hook it in up there, and see where we go from there. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. City is growing, 106,000 actually. I shouldn't say that. It is decreased 2,000 since the last episode, so maybe it is time to start thinking traffic and solving some of those problems. So if you did enjoy the video, likes, comments, shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, and until Wednesday when the next Let's Play hits, this is Move the Mouse signing off.